Hey there everybody, my name is Gary. I'm a reptile keeper and I have this vision of creating a video to help support USARK. What I really wanted to do was get together with some reptile keepers in the industry and kind of ask them a couple of questions. First being, what does it mean to you to be a member of USARK? Second question being, what does responsible reptile keeping mean to you? And I really want to thank everybody who did this for me, who sent me the videos, and who did this for you, the reptile keepers, and really to help spread some awareness about USARK, to help support USARK in our fight to protect our rights as reptile keepers. So if you aren't familiar with USARK, we ask please become familiar with USARK. USARK is the United States Association of Reptile Keepers, and what we want to do is help you to understand what they do for us and how you can help. Becoming a bronze member at $40 a year is a great way to start. You can give donations to USARK, but what we want to do is kind of help explain what USARK is and help answer any questions that you might have.
Responsible reptile keeping in this day and age is really about two things: education and innovation. The first thing we should all be doing is educating ourselves about the proper care of the animals that we choose to live with. The second thing we need to do is try to think, how can we take that to the next level? Maybe learning about scientific methods or new discoveries in other fields that we can adapt and apply to our own so that we can continue to bring our animals' husbandry and our understanding of the animals that we live with to the next level. We wouldn't be keeping animals if we weren't trying to have connections with a greater world outside of ourselves. So let's continue to connect with that world in ever more intimate ways.
We were asked to pick from two different topics to talk about. One being, what does being a USARK member mean to me? And the second one, what does responsible reptile keeping mean to me? And I've been thinking about it and I can't really separate the two. Being a member of USARK really helps to provide me as a keeper with the language I need to fight for my rights to keep wonderful animals like Ivy. She's very curious about my glasses right now. These beautiful, amazing creatures that are so misunderstood, and USARK provides a voice for us so we can advocate for these animals. And they also help me be able to focus on what I really want to be focusing on, which is being the best keeper I can be and growing and learning and continuing to better myself as a reptile keeper. So I can't really be one without the other. So that's what my USARK membership gives me. That's what it means to me. It's important. I can't be the responsible reptile keeper that I strive to be and focus on what I want to focus on without me backing USARK and knowing that USARK backs me as well. That's it. Pretty simple. Ivy agrees. Support USARK. It's really important.
Hello everybody, my name is JP. I run Underbelly Exotics, which essentially is social media. It's me as a hobbyist just wanting to share with you my journey, my DIY builds, different stuff like that. I wanted to first off thank Gary for allowing me the opportunity to come onto his platforms and to speak to you about something that is very important and near and dear to my heart. I know it's very near and dear to Gary's heart, and that is USARK and our support of them. So I think that USARK is arguably the most important organization in the lives of reptile hobbyists in the United States. Whether you keep one leopard gecko that you got for your kid or you're a big time breeder, it's really important to consider supporting USARK. And I know we've been hearing a bunch about supporting them, what with the amendments to the Lacey Act being proposed within the government, but this has been a fight that has been going on for a long time, and all the stuff that's been stirred up is just the latest attack on the hobby from external forces. And USARK has really been there from some of the foundational cases and legislation, and they've been fighting on our behalf to protect our rights as keepers and us as responsible keepers to be able to have these beautiful animals in our possession and continue to work with them and share them with those around us. So I think it's really important that we support USARK, even if it's not financially, that we follow them on social media, that we promote USARK however we can. That way we can get the word out, because information is power. There's strength in numbers. For them to be able to have a member list of tens of thousands of members and to take that to lobbyists and to legislatures, that gives them a bigger voice. It gives them more influence within those particular spheres. So that's really a big reason why it's important to become a supporter. I know money might be tight, but that's a way that we can help just by giving them a few bucks to be able to support them financially, but also to show other people that we're serious and we mean business as reptile keepers, because we really are a small community whenever you consider, I mean, people who keep dogs and cats or people who aren't reptile people at all. I mean, we are a very small minority of the population in the United States. So we as a community need to have a very loud voice in order to be able to be heard and to be respected. And that's where USARK comes in. They have the experience, they have the people on staff to be able to lobby for us, to be able to file these federal lawsuits to protect our rights as keepers. So to me, it's a big deal to be a part of USARK, but also to be active within the community and on social media promoting USARK, because they are such a well of knowledge and resources and really are a news source for us as reptile keepers whenever it comes to figuring out what's going on within legislation in the United States. And it just really helps to keep us all connected in that way. So to me, USARK is arguably the most important organization you can be a part of as a reptile keeper, or even if you're not a reptile keeper, or you have somebody in your life that loves reptiles, or you just have a respect and an appreciation for the natural world. To consider being a part of USARK or even just supporting them is a huge deal, because it shows that people care about these animals and we're keeping them responsibly, and we want to be able to continue to keep them and allow them to thrive in captivity. I thank you so much again, Gary, and guys, please consider supporting USARK and joining the fight to protect our rights as reptile keepers.
Hello, my name is Fiera with Pharaohs Morphs, and I'm here with my boy Mello. He's an ultra male ball python. I'm a keeper of ball pythons and African soft furs. So I want to talk more about responsible reptile keeping, because giving the gift of knowledge is the best gift I can give, okay? Responsible reptile keeping. Being able to make sure that people understand that this is major, okay? Make sure the environments are clean, okay? Don't neglect your animals, feed your animals, okay? Use quarantine methods when you purchase new things for your animals. Check for animals that aren't supposed to be there, like mites. or abnormalities, burns, mites, anything. Treat your animals. Proud member of the USARK. I love everything that they're doing. They're doing everything that they're supposed to be doing right now in these tough times. Tough times that for herpetoculture. So the U.S. Association of Reptile Keepers is a nonprofit organization making sure that people are aware of all different types of species of herpetoculture, letting us know of all the laws and regulations that's happening regarding herpetoculture. And their newsletters are just amazing. I love it. I love reading them. And as a paralegal of the state of Florida, it just had me outraged. So I had to do everything I could in my power to make sure that I contributed to everything that's going on with the Lacey Act of the 1900. It got amended just the other day and put my baby on the blacklist. No, this is a big community, and I feel like we will do everything we can in our power to make sure that we're able to house our animals the way that we want to, responsibly. So yeah, I love my snakes. I was a keeper of birds as well. And yeah, I just come from a family that just has a lot of animals. So it's normal to me. I just derived into being a reptile owner instead of birds and stuff like that. And tortoises. That's the next thing. I want tortoises. But anyway, that's enough of me and my buffoonery. Shout out to Gary and Gary's Constrictors. You're doing an amazing job. And everybody, have a great day.
What does being a member of USARK mean to me? Well, it really means that I have a voice about not just my animals, but about your animals. Being a member of USARK allows me to help out where USARK might need our help. USARK is there to let us know about new laws that are coming into play. And I always look at it like we are still like on this little island out in the middle of nowhere as reptile keepers because of the misconceptions and fears that people have of these beautiful reptiles that we own. What I want to do is help educate and protect our rights as reptile keepers so that we can continue to have these beautiful animals in our home and hopefully show people that they're just as loving, beautiful, and fun to be around as your typical cat or dog. Responsible reptile keeping, to me, is a huge thing, and I think it goes further than just your reptile keeper and the individual ways that we may keep our animals. I think responsible reptile keeping starts with the breeders. We've got people who are producing animals like this right here. This is Georgia. She is a 4-year-old 50% Calatoa reticulated python. Because of the way she was produced, there's a very good chance that this snake won't get 20 feet long. But there's people in this industry that are producing the super dwarf gene, so people like me can keep and house an animal like this safely. And that's where, to me, where responsible reptile keeping starts. And then it goes on down the line to how we are as keepers. And I think that being a responsible reptile keeper is also involved in being a member of the United States Association of Reptile Keepers. I am a silver member of USARK, and I'm proud to be a silver member of USARK. I want to know what's going on in the United States with reptile laws, and I want to know how I can help, not just myself, but how do I help other people keep their reptiles in their homes so that we can properly house and educate people about these beautiful animals that we have. Responsible reptile keeping goes into how I care for my animals and the research that I do and the people that put out the pertinent information that's accessible to me so that I can take that information and implement it into my home, into my enclosures, and that I can give my animals the optimum care that they deserve. It's really all about the research and the love that I have for these animals that allows me and truly wants me to be a responsible reptile keeper. But I really truly believe that responsible reptile keeping isn't just what we do in our homes, but we have to thank the breeders out there who are creating the genes of animals like this. And it's not just a super dwarf gene, but it's creating the genes and the many different morphs that we have available to us today so that we can have these beautiful animals in our homes and display them in a very, very positive light.
Hello everybody, I'm Nicole with Lady Tiz Exotics, the reticulated python lover, and I am honored to discuss what USARK means to me. First, it is the representation for us, even when we're not present, to represent our love, passion, and the law for these animals that we spend so much time caring for and enjoying so much. It also is very similar to prepaid legal. Even when I don't know what's going on, they are very in tune and they're fighting for my best interest at heart to keep these wonderful animals. I am not just a keeper of reticulated pythons. As a child, I'm living my dream. I come home to my own little jungle. And then that goes into responsible reptile keeping. What that means to me. Responsible reptile keeping is not just personally taking care of your animals, which that is huge. Making sure you're providing the best life that you can give these animals. These are animals who need exercise. Our animals, whether it's a reticulated python or an Asian water monitor or Tegels, all in which I own, they need engagement. They need enrichment. And if we're not capable of doing that, we have to be very selective in what animals we choose in our home. I have a full-time job. When I come home every day, I am living a little girl's dream, my dream. I always wanted to come home to a bunch of animals. Growing up in a household where my other siblings and my parents were not as huge animal lovers as I was restricted to what animals I can have. And I knew that someday when I became an adult and I raised my children, point made, raised my children, because some of these animals are not animals that we can give the time to our children and their education and the care of these animals at the same time. Responsible reptile keeping is so important, especially as we are up against so many laws that's against us and our very small community in the country that loves these beautiful, beautiful animals. It's very important that we're conscious of how we represent them to the public, regardless of the things that we know are natural for these animals. Some things are very intimidating to the very people who are fighting against us. So what I like to share is the awesomeness of these animals. I like to share how we engage with these animals. I like to share how intelligent they are. I love to share how great companions they are. And if anything else, share with the lawmakers to make them understand that just like a dog or cat, you take these animals away from us, you break our hearts. For some of us, they are our mental and emotional support animals. Whether the government wants to acknowledge it or not, we have a responsibility to be the voice for these beautiful animals who just cannot speak for themselves. We must be grateful of the opportunity that we have, the privilege to live with these beautiful creatures. We must honor the people who fight so hard for us in USARK. Phil Goss, bless you. Bless you for all that you do. With everything said, it is our obligation to be inclusive as a reptile community, to support USARK, to donate every chance we get when we make a purchase and the vendor allows us to donate, to have a membership of some sort, whether it's bronze, silver, or gold. But we as reptile owners, if you are blessed to come home and touch a reptile, you must be a member of USARK. And if you are going to enter this wonderful venture, you must be an awesome keeper. That's not keeping an animal in a cage most of the day. That's letting your reticulated pythons and your Burmese pythons, who contrary to what people believe, love to roam and climb, experience your home. If you have stairs, let them climb the stairs. That's responsible reptile keeping. It's not just about keeping animals, it's about loving them, engaging with them, adoring them. I appreciate your time. Thank you for everything that you do, USARK. And Gary, I am honored to have done this video. Peace.
You know, to me, USARK means hope. It gives me hope that we have someone that is 100% dedicated in this industry to being vigilant when it comes to watching for these new bills that would limit our ability to live our lives with the animals, and then educating us on what it is that we can do about it to take a stand and participate in our government.